He's done that twice. Dale Earnhardt Jr., this will be his 15th race at California, second his best finish here so far. And after Matt Kenseth's win, the biggest story coming out of Daytona was Dale Earnhardt Jr., that contact with Brian Vickers causing a 10-car wreck. And not to play that blame game, but most drivers think that the sport's most popular driver was really the guy at fault in this, Darrell.
Yeah, anytime that Dale Jr. makes a mistake, I've always known him to man up and admit it. See if you don't agree. So, how's your week been?
And a big miscue for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Boy, Brian Vickers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., that ain't gonna work, boys.
There's been a lot of wrecks at Daytona and Talladega. None more scrutinized than this one.
Yeah.
It was not a good day, but I've had worse days than that.
We had a shot of you coming down pit road when you missed your pit box. And it was like you never even looked over. You just kept on going.
I know it.
What was going on? Was it?
I don't know, man.
Anything happening?
Not really. I mean, I was having fun.
You didn't recognize your pit board? Did I understand you to say that right?
Yeah, I was just coming up with any excuse to cover my butt. I used to practice pit stops with the team, but I haven't practiced in probably 3 years. And this winter, Tony Jr. calls me up and says, "Why don't you come on by and practice with the guys?" And so I came out, we practiced pit stops, and that's the end of that. So, because obviously it's the wrong thing to do.
Didn't work, did it?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Then you had the penalty out of the pit box.
Yeah.
You can pick it up from here, but from when I watched you come out of the pits, and I saw the Raging Bull, you were driving as aggressively as I've ever seen you drive.
Well, first off, what's the matter with that?
Nothing.
All right.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, well.
Except it's out of character.
It's out of
Just
character.
a little out of
All right.
character.
So that's all, maybe it is, it's definitely out of character. So here I'm sitting there with the car that I thought I could win the race with, that I should be leading the race with if I don't make the mistakes that I made. So I'm in the hole. I'm the guy that's got to dig us out. So we had to go, and it's the Daytona 500.
So then you get the Vickers.
Yeah, we got the Vickers, and I got a real good push off of 2. He had to have seen this huge run I had, and I said, all right, I'll ease over slowly so he knows, I'm coming. And he came down and hit me in the right front fender, and it shoved me under the line, and I see grass, and I turned to the right and come back up on the racetrack. The first half of that situation was his doing, and the second half was my doing. And that's when I come up there and ran into his corner panel and spun him out.
Did you mean to?
I didn't do it intentionally. I mean, Vickers is not an enemy of mine. We had actually been pretty good buddies up to this point. I don't want to pin any responsibility on Brian or anything like that, but that wreck just don't start on its own. I was upset for 80% of the people that went sliding down the back straightaway backwards. There's 20% of those guys I could have cared less that they were in that wreck.
Do you think the guys respect the way you drive?
Most of the guys that have known me since I was a kid and know who I am respect me. The guys that haven't known me, that have come into the sport in the last couple of years, that are a lot younger than me, probably don't. They don't understand what the popularity is all about because the popularity and the results don't match up. They have a problem, I guess, with a guy having that much popularity and not being able to have this, the same kind of results. So, that's just the way it is.
If I said to you, Dale Jr., this is what I want you to do this year. I'm Rick Hendrick. I'm going to be Rick for a few minutes. I want you to take everything else that you got going on, Whiskey River, whatever, boys at the ranch, riding the guy. I want you to put all that aside for 1 year, and I want you to give me 100% focus on that race car and that race team. And what would you say to me?
You should take a week off and come hang out with me every day for a whole week, and you'd be surprised at how little distractions there are, where my mind is. If you could see where my brain is on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and what I'm thinking about and what I'm considering, it's close to that.
Final thought. If somebody says you caused that wreck.
I'll take responsibility for it. Sure. I came back and hit him and spun him out. I mean, that's obvious to me and obvious to the rest of the world for sure.
So it's not going to affect this weekend. That's behind us.
It won't affect me this week or any other week. And I can't wait to get back to Daytona.
Good.
And I'll be just as aggressive then as I was in the Daytona 500 if I feel like I need to be. I mean, aside from wrecking Vickers in the field I don't think I was that aggressive. I can't believe you said that.
That's good. Good stuff. Yeah, he's one of the most honest people in sports. How about that week?
Well,
You're
I'm
gonna
looking.
spend a week?
Yeah, I found a week. We're off in Atlanta right
He
there.
challenged you, Daryl. So you're gonna.
Oh, I'm going to go hang.
Yeah, okay.
I'll hang with him.
Not a bad
I bet you will.
All right, well, there's two sides to every story. We just heard from Junior. Now let's hear from Brian Vickers. He's standing by with Krista Voda. Krista?
With Brian Vickers now, and Brian, you just saw that video along with the rest of us, the interview with DW and Dale Jr. It's been a full week. Your thoughts now after seeing that and after having 7 days to think about it?
I agree with what he said. This incident's probably been more scrutinized than anything else I've ever been involved in. I'm just, glad to be here at California, ready to move on. I mean, like he said in the interview, I mean, it was, it was one of those things. I mean, obviously they touched on the fact that he'd had a bad day, and I think he was frustrated and, and aggressive. And I think we were all driving aggressive. I mean, I was driving aggressive. I blocked him. I took full responsibility for that. I mean, that's part of super speedway racing. You're supposed to block. And as far as I think anybody on that racetrack at that point in time, we had our crew chiefs in our ear saying, okay, you got about 10 laps before the rain comes. You've got 10 laps. This is a 10-lap race. And, him and I were racing for the lucky dog. And when he came back on the racetrack, he hit us in the left rear. And why, or if he misjudged, or, I mean, he said it wasn't intentional. I mean, I guess we can only take his word at that. But, and he wrecked us, and it caused a big wreck. And I was mad, and he was mad. But he did call this week, and he apologized. And I admire that. And I told him, I said, I appreciate it. But, it's tough. I mean, it's, we've all made mistakes. We've all been there. It's just part of racing. But well, I'm just ready to move on and go race this race this weekend.
All right. Well, good luck today on the pole, going to the back with an engine change. But the second pole here at California for Brian Vickers.
Thanks very much, Krista. And it's not Junior's fault that he's the most popular driver. Okay, but there is the perception out there that you can't criticize him, or it's against the rules.
No, he's so honest, and I mean, and so open. Did he read a press release?
No, not like some other athlete. No, yeah, he was very real, very natural.
He's one of the fans. He's one of us.
No, and the thing is, right now, if you don't like the way he put it, you just don't understand what a real man is all about. Because I think he really manned up, like Daryl said. He did. He stepped up there and he told you like it was.
But is he wanting to? Does he want to be more aggressive because he wants to win more? I mean, he can handle that.
Yeah. I think he likes that Aretha song, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. I think he like it was one thing real quickly. He did not know he was eligible for the lucky dog. He thought because he got penalized, he had to be in front of the field.
Okay.
Because they were hollering rain, rain, rain. He needed to be in front of the field. He thought to get the lap back, but he was eligible for the lucky dog. And he didn't know Vickers was a lap down. So there was a lot of things he didn't know.
Hey, thank you, Paul Harvey, for the rest of the story.
You got it. That's what you get when you sit out and get to hang out. By the way,